All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Central Valley Business on CentralValleyTalk.com. I'm Mike Scott. So glad you're with us today. And look, I got my first Valentine's gift today. Fowler Floral is here, and Talene, Kasparian-Cleveland brought in these beautiful, well, it's not just roses, is it? It's a mixture of things. What's in there?
We have hydrangeas and roses and tulips and snapdragons and stock and lilies and a little bit of everything.
And you know, you can smell when a flower is fresh, can't you?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Those smell fresh.
I've kind of gotten a little immune to it, being there for 13 years. But yes, when people walk in, they notice how fragrant it is and how pretty it smells. And so as soon as I walked in, somebody said that, in fact. So, yeah.
Well, they're right. Now, you know there are places in town, we're not going to mention any names, that sell these $4.95 roses that you're lucky if they're still alive when they get home.
Right.
A real rose should last, what, a good week, 10 days? How long?
Well, it really depends on your house.
Okay.
I mean, if you have a furnace that's,
lasting.
Right. I mean, it changes the dynamics. I mean, it is colder right now, so they should last longer. But again, if you have direct
it's
heat,
70 degrees
well,
today.
Yeah, but, last week it's cold, next week it's raining.
Right,
and I mean,
right.
we can't keep up with the weather here. So it really depends on, the temperature and the weather, that the flowers are in, because the heat changes, the longevity of it. So I would say probably 5 days would be about average. But again, if they're in a really warm room, they'll last less. And if they're in a colder room, then they'll last longer. So.
Okay. Now, what about, I've heard that if you put like an aspirin in the water, it'll last longer, or bleach maybe, or is there some secret that florists have?
Well, when we clean them, it's a big process to clean flowers. So like, for example, Valentine's Day is coming up, so we will be getting tons and tons of roses in the next week, and it's about the care when you originally get them. So the difference between us and the places that sell them for $4.99 or off the street is, as soon as we get them, we cut them, we clean them, we de-stem them. If there's anything that looks iffy on them, we throw that away. We put them in warm water because it gives a good volt of sucking up the water, and we use a solution in there that makes flowers last a little bit longer, and then we put them in our refrigerator. So that keeps them fresh as long as possible, versus just being instantly cut, put in room temperature, and then then they don't last as long.
Now, at home, should I put warm water on them?
I would say that if you want to keep them lasting longer, it's always good to cut the stems at an angle, put new fresh warm water in it, and then put the roses in, and it will extend the life longer than if you never change the water or don't recut the stems, for sure.
Okay.
So,
right.
Absolutely.
Are roses in plentiful supply this year, or do we have a shortage? What's the situation?
Every year is a little bit different. People don't really think about the process of how roses go, but the Rose Bowl at the beginning of January for New Year's is huge, and it takes a large supply away at that point. And so growers are already cutting back and keeping, their Valentine stock. Because it's on a weekend, I think it's not going to be as busy as next year, but I do have plenty coming in. So, it's a weekend, and it's a 3-day weekend. President's Day is Monday. So
What? Is it a Saturday this year?
Valentine's Day is on Saturday, next
Wow.
Saturday. Yeah. So, a lot of men like to impress their women and send it to work. So if,
That's out
you
the
don't
window.
get it at work, some people don't feel like it, they're not getting as good of a,
Well, so
show
I'm
off
guessing a lot
period,
of
so.
people will get their flowers on Friday, right?
A lot of people
day
will get
early.
them right. I have deliveries starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because some people like to have them to where they have them longer.
Sure.
Yeah, we have a lot on Friday, and then Saturday some will go to the house, but a lot of people like to show off at work. So.
Yeah. So besides roses, what's the other hot flower for Valentine's Day this year?
I sell a lot of tulips. People like
Really?
tulips, yeah.
For Valentine's Day?
Yeah, a
Well,
lot
there's
of
some
people
tulips
like
in here, aren't there?
tulips.
Yeah.
These are tulips right here. A lot of people like tulips, so I do an arrangement that I use hydrangeas, tulips, and beargrass, or this is called ting ting. Give it a little bit of a different look, and I kind of put that in a vase, and a lot of people like that because it's something different. It's not roses, but an arrangement like this too, a square vase that has a little bit of everything, is very popular and very common.
Yeah.
Some people like it accessible. It sits on your desk and you could still work, versus sometimes those are things that are really big or, although beautiful, sometimes not convenient.
You
So
gotta wade through them.
Right,
So,
yeah.
you have some pictures? Oh, cool. Yeah, pop those up. How much is this one on the desk first?
Something like this would probably run you at Valentine's Day, because flowers do go up a little bit, probably about $85 or so.
Okay. Plus delivery.
Plus delivery and tax, obviously, unless you're coming in and taking out, and we have a lot more to offer if you come in the store.
Oh, but she's so worth it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's take a look at some of the pictures
Sure.
you brought in today. What's this first
So
one?
that is a wedding. So that was a bridal bouquet that you see up on the screen right now. I do a lot of custom funeral work. That's actually, I was kind of running late a little bit to get here because a family came in for a funeral, and that's what I really specialize in. I love doing funeral work. I love creating something exciting.
Was that a slot machine?
That was a slot machine. That's a jersey for somebody that was a baseball player that we did their high school jersey. I really thrive on doing stuff like that. I sent in a lot of pictures. I don't know, everything that you're setting up, but I can create anything, and I'm up to a challenge. So that's something, that was for somebody that owned a grocery store in Fowler, and so that was a grocery bag with groceries coming, out of it. So
made of flowers.
All of flowers.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that was somebody who liked bunnies, so we made a bunny and then did flowers, surrounding that. So, I'm open to creating, anything. I really enjoy that because when somebody is grieving, if they see flowers that remind them of, their loved one, then it brings them joy and it makes something of happy things versus, the sadness of losing their family members.
Now, obviously, you're going to pay a little more for a custom design,
Oh,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Does it depend on how many hours you have to put into it?
Yes and no. It's more the flowers. It's hard to judge time. That slot machine, to give you an idea, took me 14 hours to make.
What? 14 hours?
Because it took me time to cut out the slot machine, and then I had to foil it, cardboard it, make all the different pieces that weren't flowers, make the actual slot part, and then laminate it, and that all has to be done before the flowers get put in. Then once the flower gets put in, if I'm manipulating a color, then I'm having to put in spray paint, and you have to coat it, several coats, so that takes, over an hour to 2 hours itself.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's
Now, not all floral shops will do that, right?
Right,
We'll
because
do the
it does
custom
take
stuff?
a lot of time, and I really don't make any money on my time. I see it more as an art. So when somebody comes to me, I have a hard time charging them as much as I probably should for something like that, just because I thrive on it. It builds my resume, or if you will, my portfolio,
Sure.
and I enjoy doing it. So,
Did you always enjoy flowers?
I've been doing it for 13 years. I started right out of high school. I started working there, and I've owned it for 10. I can't say that it's what I thought I would do once I graduated high school. I went to Fresno State, and I majored in mass comm and journalism, and that's what I thought I was going to do, and it just kind of worked.
You're better off in flowers, let me tell you.
So I really thought I was going to go in that direction, and I stayed with the flowers, and I do enjoy loving it. But when I can be really creative is when I enjoy it. When I have a little freedom. When somebody tells me make a slot machine and have fun with it, that's
Why do they want a slot machine, by the way?
Because their grandma went gambling all the time, and that was her favorite thing to do. I don't think I sent you the picture, but I did one once of a McDonald's French fry container, because every day this little girl would get picked up by her grandpa, and they would go get French fries after work from McDonald's, and so she wanted something. Her father wanted something that reminded them of McDonald's, and I thought, what better way to remind them of McDonald's than doing a McDonald's French fry container? So,
Has there ever been something you couldn't do? It was too complicated?
I wouldn't say there's been something that's been too complicated. We've rigged it. So if somebody's wanted something that wasn't really practical that could be done with flowers, then I've done partial flowers and something some other way. The slot machine was the most time consuming I've done, but I've made trucks. I've done the Harley Davidson logo. I've done business logos. I've done Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. I've done like I said, the French fry container. I've made Fresno State's logo. I actually sent you that picture too. That was recently for a friend of mine whose grandpa passed away. So, I'm open to doing anything, but there are things that are more of a challenge, but there's ways around that. We can do, other things to make it work. So I like to talk to people and see what we could come up with.
Well, I can tell you enjoy your work.
Yeah.
All right, so Valentine's Day is coming up on Saturday the 14th.
Which is
so
next Saturday.
You recommend people, get their orders in now?
Yes. The sooner you order, you're guaranteed your product. I mean, it's really hard when we literally have hundreds of orders that we're, trying to get out and put together. So the sooner that you order, it's better for us. We can, account for something. If you wait till the day of, it's not that we couldn't do something for you. It's just I can't promise you that I'll have red roses available. It may have to be another color. And so the sooner that you order, it's always,
You
more
make it
helpful.
dandelions, right?
Yeah. So.
And the prices, do they inch up as you get closer to Valentine's Day?
They don't. I mean, it is what it is right now until Valentine's Day. My cost has gone up, but it's not going to change between now and the 14th.
Okay.
1 year, I will tell you, it's a funny story. I worked there. It was the last dozen roses that I had of the day. I didn't have any more. It was the last
You
one.
auctioned them off.
There was 2 men that walked in, and it was 7 o'clock at night, and they were begging for them. And they pretty much, between themselves, went in a bidding war, and I think a dozen ended up going for like 150 or something at that point.
Why didn't you split it into 2 6-packs?
They don't work that way. If somebody wants what they want,
They want that
they
dozen.
want that dozen. They don't, they won't settle for anything less. So.
All right. So tell everybody how they can find you. Where are you in Fowler?
We are located on Merced Street in downtown Fowler. It's really easy to get to. It's right off of 99. Our address is 214 East Merced. You can also call us. Our phone number is 559-834-2505, or visit us on the web at fowlerfloral.com.
How wide an area do you deliver to?
Pretty much everywhere in this Central Valley. We go Fresno, Clovis, Selma, Kingsburg, Carruthers, Sanger, I think I said Sanger, and then obviously Fowler. So
Okay.
pretty wide range. Now, again, if you wait till the day before, we may not be able to accommodate, for Valentine's Day as far out as it may go, but the sooner
Gotcha.
we know, the better. So.
All right. Talene, Kasparian-Cleveland from Fowler Floral, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. You too.
And we'll be back with more on Central Valley Talk.